Greetings, weirdlings! I'm Danny Danger, and for those of you who have been watching the channel, you know that I have very recently got into anime and manga, and I have fallen headfirst in love. If you haven't checked out our video about my first anime, you should definitely watch that because it's amazing. And now I want to tell you about the second anime that I've become completely obsessed with. Princess Jellyfish! Princess Jellyfish is a story about Tsukimi. When Tsukimi is a little girl, she goes to the aquarium with her mother all the time, and she looks at the jellyfish, is incredibly obsessed with them. She promises her mother that she will grow up to be a princess, and she will wear a dress that looks just like the tendrils or the arms of jellyfish. Fast forward to adulthood. Tsukimi lives in a house in Tokyo called Amamizukan with some other housemates, and they're all otaku. Not up to scratch on your anime lingo? No problem. Otaku is somebody who identifies as an obsessive fan of something. It often has negative connotations, people who are antisocial or like too much into something, but it's being used more and more these days to self-identify in a positive way. This is the first time I've ever seen women referred to as otaku, and it really endeared the term to me instead of making it a derogatory thing. As things in Tokyo grow and change, Amamizukan becomes threatened to be sold, so the girls have to band together and try and save their apartment building. Things don't get really interesting until Kuranosuke is introduced into the mix. Now, all of the sisters live in a house together. They refer to themselves as sisters, like as in a nunnery. And there's one sister who's actually never seen through the whole series, and she draws yaoi manga from the solitude of her room. She sort of sets the rules and is kind of like their leader. And there is a very strict no boys allowed under any circumstance policy in the house. When Tsukimi gets in an argument with a pet shop boy over whether or not a jellyfish will live in a tank with another jellyfish, he gets kind of aggressive with her. And Kuranosuke shows up and saves the day, bringing home the jellyfish, coming back to Tsukimi's apartment, and subsequently passing out there. The next morning, when Tsukimi wakes up, she discovers that Kuranosuke is a cross-dressing man. The freak-out that happens after she figures this out is just beautiful, beautiful. Once Kuranosuke takes an interest in the housemates, hijinks ensue. So many of these characters in this show strike a chord with me. It's really hard to choose a favorite. Tsukimi talks a lot about the physical feelings of re-experiencing moments that make her feel shame and how it feels. And she associates it with being in love, but to me it actually rang very true because it sounds exactly like what anxiety feels like. And she obviously has a little bit of social anxiety too, and you don't see a lot of characters struggling or dealing with that particular issue. Miyaya is one of the housemates, and she's really loud and super over-expressive and enthusiastic, traits I would know absolutely nothing about. I actually really want to cosplay her, like, so bad. If I had to pick a favorite character, Kuranosuke would be it. He's definitely not the moral high ground of the story. There are times when the housemates are asking him to leave repeatedly over and over again, even though Tsukimi's the only one who knows that he's a cross-dressing boy. He's just very overwhelming and can really make the girls nervous. And his want to get involved with them is definitely out of a selfish need, but I don't know, he's still really motivating for me because I guess at the end of the day, he is so brazenly and unapologetically himself. He doesn't stop cross-dressing in front of his political family, and he doesn't even go out of his way to hide it from the housemates. He'll say something like, "Not for this boy," and Tsukimi will freak out and start dancing and singing a song like, oh boy, we're gonna do some things," to try and cover up the fact that, you know, he just said he was a dude. Also, I really want Kuranosuke to be real and be my boyfriend. I have like a monster crush on Kuranosuke with the lipstick on. The lipstick helps. We should do an entire episode on my really creepy crushes on cartoon characters. I have a lot of crushes on cartoon characters. It started with Fred from Scooby-Doo. There's a side plot about Kuranosuke's older brother and this like succubus realtor who's trying to get the apartment building sold out from underneath the girls that was kind of interesting to me. I don't really feel very passionately about either of the two characters, but there was an interesting conversation there about consent and men being taken advantage of, and that was definitely a conversation that needed to happen. And I would love to have seen more of that conversation, except that this series ends immediately, without any announcement. It just stops. I have a secret superpower, and that secret superpower is getting really, really into anime fandoms that stop suddenly and have manga that are only published in Japanese. I have no idea if Kuranosuke and Tsukimi get together, and I ship them, and I ship them hard, and it's really hard not knowing. So here's my question for fans. You guys seem to be very well versed in the world of anime and manga. What do you know about how publishing companies determine which books to translate? It seems all very convoluted, like some companies will publish for this publisher, but not for this publisher, and then in some circumstances, Funimation or Crunchyroll gets involved, and everybody's really interconnected, but I don't know how. Tell me down below what you think. Have you seen Princess Jellyfish? Because you should. It's adorable. David Reyes asked if I had seen the live-action trailers for Attack on Titan. Did you not pay attention to the video? I'm terrified of the Titans. Why would I want to watch that? Why would you do that to me? I actually feel really positively about Asian actors being cast for roles that were normally drawn as characters who are of European descent. First and foremost, I think, you can be European or you can be from Europe and still be Asian, so that's totally a thing that can happen. But also, for the purposes of representation, like, I'm totally okay with changing that kind of characteristic about a character. If you're casting for a movie and the actor who plays the part best is Asian, cast that person. Period. Now on the flip side of this, Scarlett Johansson being cast in a role that would have traditionally been for an Asian character, I do disagree with. Social climate. It's absolutely social climate. If we fast forward into the future and there are more positive reaching roles for Asian actors or, different people of color, then this conversation will change. But in the current climate, there is so little out there to accurately represent the world we live in that casting a white actress in a character that's anything other than white is going to be insulting. There's a whole multifaceted part of this argument because are the studios actively pursuing Asian actors in the first place? And then if they are and they can't find anybody who's as good as ScarJo, then ScarJo gets the role and then that's something to be talked about. But Luffy, whose name I can't say because I don't think there's a vowel in there. The names, people, your YouTube names are killing me. Please, when you leave comments on my YouTube page, please include the phonetic pronunciation of your name if you feel like it might even sort of be necessary. You said that you were a little concerned about my attitude towards anime and fan service. You don't think that anime is the place for me. I respectfully disagree. Very respectfully, but also very impassionately. Anime are just like comic books. Comic books are just like books. There is something out there for you. You just have to take the time to figure out your likes, your dislikes, and navigate the world. And that's part of why I'm doing this for the first time, and that's part of why I'm making videos, is so people who have a hard time, like me, figuring out what they like about anime and where to find that anime after they've figured out what they like. I'm doing this for the first time, and it's hard doing it by yourself. So I want to help people who are doing what I can do because there's something out there for everyone. I do very, very passionately and firmly believe that. Kaji, again, with the names, you guys, again, you're killing me. I've butchered so many people's real, actual identification card names. Internet names are just a whole nother beast. Said that Yona was a really weird choice, or not weird choice, but strange choice because it's not incredibly popular, but still a very good choice, and that they might do a second season. So whereabouts would I go to find out, and not really pester, but definitely internet stalk the people who are going to tell me whether or not I get a season 2? Hey Texas, I am going to be at HavenCon this weekend. Weird Girls will be hosting a panel about bisexual and pansexual visibility. I will be on it. I'm super excited and I would love for you guys to come see me Saturday, 2 p.m. Now this is Texas's first LGBTQ convention in the state, so it's really big that we get support. Show some love. If you liked this video, be sure to subscribe, put the thumbs up, tell us down below, share it, leave your comments. That's how we know to keep making more videos like this. Do you want to see me talk about more anime, more manga? I'm reading more. I'd love to talk about it. Tell me down below. And as always, a special thanks goes out to Austin Books and Comics, helping me rifle through the world of anime and manga with ease and very little stress.